The ketogenic diet. You've heard of it, right? It's easily one of the most popular and, yeah, most controversial diets on the planet. Today, we're going to cut through all that noise and get right to the science, from how it actually works to some brand new research that might just change how you think about it. It just sounds weird, doesn't it? Eat more fat to lose more fat? The whole idea behind the keto diet seems completely backwards. But, that's exactly why it's grabbed so many people's attention. Okay, so let's break down the premise. What is this diet really? Well, fun fact, it's not new at all. It was actually created way back in the 1920s to help treat epilepsy. The core idea is surprisingly simple. You drastically, and I mean drastically, cut your carbohydrates and replace all those calories with fat. To really get keto, you have to understand this one word, ketosis. See, your body normally runs on glucose, which it gets from carbs, bread, pasta, sugar, you name it. When you take almost all of those away, your body panics for a second and then it has to find a new source of energy. So it flips this kind of metabolic switch and starts burning fat for fuel instead. That new state, that's ketosis. And when I say you drastically cut carbs, I am not kidding. Take a look at this. This is what a typical day of keto macros looks like. A whopping 75% of your calories are coming from fat. To really put that tiny 5% carb slice into perspective, you're looking at less than 50 grams of carbs a day. That's about what you'd get in a single cup of white rice. That's it, for the whole day. So this diet is a real study in contrasts. For every amazing benefit someone talks about, there seems to be a pretty significant risk right around the corner. It's a diet of extremes, and the results people see can be just as extreme. On the one hand, you have the promise. A lot of people talk about really rapid weight loss, especially at the beginning, and feeling less hungry all the time. But then there's the other side of the coin, the peril. This diet is so restrictive it can easily lead to nutrient deficiencies. And then there's the infamous keto flu, where you just feel exhausted and nauseous. Oh, and the lack of fiber? Let's just say constipation becomes a very real issue for a lot of people. And that brings us to maybe the biggest practical problem of all. Can anyone actually stick to this? It's incredibly hard. As Dr. Baljosh Singh Chima notes here, the benefits often vanish the second you go back to your old ways. This is such a critical point. What good are short-term results if they don't lead to long-term health? Okay, so struggling to stick with it is one thing. But there's a much deeper, more clinical concern that has a lot of cardiologists really paying attention. And that's the diet's dramatic and honestly sometimes alarming effect on cholesterol. We're talking specifically about LDL, what most of us know as the bad cholesterol. And just as important is the protein that carries it around your body, which is called ApoB. Now, for decades, we've known that high levels of both are a huge risk factor for heart disease. So you can imagine why seeing them spike on a high-fat diet has been seen as a massive red flag. And just how high are we talking? Well, some people on keto can see their LDL levels just soar past 190 milligrams per deciliter. Let me be really clear. That number is the clinical threshold for very high cholesterol. That's the kind of level where a doctor would typically want to start aggressive medical treatment right away. For years, this LDL spike was pretty much the conversation ender for many doctors. Case closed. But a really surprising new study has introduced a fascinating twist to this story, and it challenges a lot of what we thought we knew. This is where the Keto CTA study comes in. Researchers followed 100 people on a keto diet. Now, this is a very specific group. They were all lean and metabolically healthy, so no high blood pressure or insulin resistance. But they did have those sky-high LDL levels we just talked about. After a year of tracking the plaque in their arteries, the results were, well, they were stunning. For this group, having extremely high LDL was not linked to their plaque getting worse. The only thing that predicted more plaque was already having some plaque to begin with. The study's own conclusion just puts it so plainly. I mean, this is the real plot twist right here. For this specific group of healthy people, the traditional red flags for heart disease, that high LDL and ApoB, they didn't seem to be driving the bus. So, this is the crucial point. This is not a green light for everyone to just go wild on bacon and butter. The study shows that the ketogenic diet isn't just good or bad. Its effects are super individual and depend heavily on the context. So what actually matters? Well, a lot of things. Your starting point is huge. Remember, the people in that study were already metabolically healthy.
the quality of fats you eat is key. Avocados and olive oil are not the same thing as a pile of processed meats. How long you do the diet, your own personal genetics, and of course, how much plaque, if any, you have in your arteries when you start, it all plays a massive role.
So, when you put all of this evidence together, a much clearer picture starts to form. The ketogenic diet isn't some magic one-size-fits-all solution for health. It's much better to think of it as a very powerful, very specialized metabolic tool. It can have incredible effects, for sure, but its risks and its benefits are deeply personal and absolutely demand careful consideration.